Dev Sahni here for Queensberry Promotions, and I'm joined by top boxer Umar Sadiq. Umar, how are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you very much.
Now, you just faced off with Saturday night's opponent Kody Davies, and it got a little bit interesting. Talk me through what happened.
I just come calm. Like I said during the press conference, I was just trying to be calm and keep things simple. He started pushing his head into my cap. I didn't say anything, I just adjusted it. And then he was like, take the cap off. I was like, what, do you fancy me or something? And then, so I just gave him a bit. I just said, look, you're wearing a woolly hat and a hoodie. He had about 4 layers on, probably 5. I was counting. I said, you're trying to sweat weight off through the day. You're struggling and I'm going to beat you up. And obviously, it's got some truth to it because that set him off. And, so that's that. He's talking about wanting to fight me now. It shows the level of his intelligence. I'm going to wait to get paid to beat him up. And, that's just that, 2 days' time.
Do you feel as though coming away from that you've got a bit of a psychological edge?
When it's all said and done, it don't matter, man. Like, I've watched the guy, I've watched myself, I've got very good boxing IQ, and when I've tried to simulate the fight in my head, every single way I can simulate it is me beating him. So whether or not I get in his head, whether or not he struggles to make weight, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, is I'm going to get in here and I'm going to beat him up. Or, no, I'm just going to beat him up. That's it.
He mentioned something there about Zach Chelli. Now, that's a question I was going to ask you. Now, Zach Chelli beat Umar Sadiq.
Yes.
Kody Davies beat Zach Chelli.
Yeah.
So surely Kody Davies beats Umar Sadiq, right?
If you don't understand boxing, yeah. But boxing's a lot more complicated than that. There are a lot more layers and complexities to it. But another thing as well that a lot of people are overlooking is I boxed Zach over 8. He boxed Zach over 10. And he just about won the fight. And everyone's in agreement he won the second half of the fight. So had he boxed Zach over 8, would he have won the fight? And then on top of that, I try not to go over things so much, but I didn't have the ideal preparation going into the ring, not towards the fight, but just going into the ring on the fight night. So with that being said, I went into the ring without an ideal preparation and put up an equivalent of a performance to what he put on, so the guy is fucked. I'm going to knock him out. That's it.
Do you see that on your record as a bit of a red herring then? Because he's probably looking at it, his team's probably looking at it and saying, oh, he's lost to a guy that we've beaten. But you know within yourself that wasn't the best Umar Sadiq, so it's almost there to trick people.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised he said that because the way I've always looked at it is he's got an experienced team behind him who would be able to look at it and understand the variables behind the outcome. But, if they feel that way, then you get the confidence where you can because you're going to need it.
So since that, it's been 6 wins on the bounce, and it feels like that L was a learn rather than a loss. Talk me through the rebuilding.
Yeah, for God. Did I start?
Well, I know there were changes to your team. You got a new trainer.
Yeah.
You're no longer with your manager as well, is that right?
Yeah, I'm with my manager, but my agent I'm not with. So basically what it is, right, you turn professional, you're in that international Olympic team, all of that stuff, you got good looks, you're articulate.
Who are you talking about? I jest.
I know you play. So anyway, people are getting behind you, you're doing a lot of tickets, all of that is great, and then you take an L and it's like people start dispersing, energy start to change, But yeah, since then a lot of people around me have changed, a lot of my setup has changed, but for the better. And like I mentioned in the press conference, I've gone out my way to rebuild back independently, and I think that's testament to the fact that I am committed to this. Cody's out here singing "This Is His Life," but outside of Frank Warren shows, I don't see him going out of his way to try and make things happen. His last fight was 5 months ago, so that's nearly half a year. I wouldn't do that. I'd go and make something happen. But the long and short of it is I've just committed myself to boxing. I've developed a lot as an individual, but most importantly as a boxer. Suddenly I'm stopping people, I'm making people retire, and that gives me a lot of confidence coming into this, that I'm going to do the same thing again. And he says all the stuff he's going to do, but nothing in his past shows that he's able to deal with someone that's tall, rangy. Put it this way, he's come down from light heavyweight, and normally when you go down a weight, you go down because you're looking for physical advantages, so you want to be the bigger guy, you want to be the stronger guy, all of these things, but I'm taller than him, so there's the advantage there. He might be strong because he's come from a higher weight, but I'm very, very strong. I'm sharper than him. I think better than him. I can box on the outside. I can mix it up on the inside. He can only bum rush you with a big shot and then throw pitter-pat punches on the inside. So, I'm just going to beat him up.
What did you think of his performance against Zach Shelley then?
I thought he did good, to be fair. Zach went up, and I think Zach went up to swerve him, to be fair. So this thing, I'm a very neutral guy. I'll give him the credit where it's due, because the fight was first offered to Zach from his team at the Super Middle, and Zach's dad replied saying, we're going to light heavy. So they were like, well, we'll fight you at light heavy. And at that point, you're kind of backed into a corner. But I think he did well. He went down in the second round, and I don't think he was significantly hurt. I think it was a balance issue. He came square on and took an uppercut. Came back, Zach gassed out. And then what I was telling was, he then gassed out. How do you gas out against someone who's already gassed out? So, it is what it is. We'll see.
Away from this, I've been following your vlog.
Thank you very much.
Talk me through the salsa.
Basically,
Yeah, the moves, goodness me.
I just like to dance every given opportunity, and I've always wanted to do Latin dancing. So, I've gone out and there's a local dance school near where I live, and I joined. Started dancing there. I go to parties occasionally, just not when I'm in camp, because hands are flying everywhere, anything can happen. But I'm still going to lessons and I'm enjoying it, and it's a good form of self-expression.
The obvious thing to think is, well, footwork. Surely that's going to help your footwork. So it does?
Yeah, it does. I just feel like I'm more connected with my feet. Like, I know where my feet are every time, and I always had good footwork, but I feel like the dancing's taken up just a little bit more. And the higher the level you get to in boxing, the bigger the difference is that these marginal gains make. So it sounds like I'm plugging a benefit of something.
Do salsa.
Yeah.
So
or not.
So what's the end game with that? I mean, do you want to dance in a show, or is it just a hobby to do on the side?
It's a hobby. It's something I enjoy doing. Like I said, I enjoy dancing anyway. You put music on now, I'll probably start dancing if I like the music. So yeah, it's just one of those things I think I'll do for life. And if there are any opportunities to go on any shows, then I'll do them. But I already do some shows with so the dance school has a dance group that I'm in, and we've performed at parties and local events, and Latin love. You lot got the plug.
Okay, well, away from that, so this Saturday night, I've heard you say it to Kody Davies' face, what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Tell us all, remind us, what's going to happen in there against Kody Davies?
I'm just going to hurt the guy. I'm going to hurt him, and if he can take it, he's going to be in for a long night of a beating, and if he can't take it, I'll get him out of there. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that. Well, before we go, let's get a couple of predictions out of you. There's another rematch on later that night. Yeah. Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. What's going to happen?
When people say anything can happen, this is one of those fights where literally anything can happen. But I sense you're going to push me to make a decision, and I'm going to say I'm leaning towards a Wilder knockout. However, I'm prepared to be wrong, because literally anything can happen. Good
prediction. What about Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce coming up April the 11th? How do you see that one going? Look at your face.
I reckon Daniel does it, to be fair. I mean, I train partially at the Peacock's gym, and I've lost count of how many times ambulances have turned up to collect the Dubois sparring partners. So the guy is just a fucking monster, and I reckon, if Joe Joyce is not the most elusive of boxers, so at some point Daniel's going to get to him. And like I said, I've witnessed firsthand ambulances, plural, coming to collect sparring partners. So this is where I see it going.
Thanks for talking to us, Umar. Good luck Saturday.